Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Mossor. That is one of my best friends, David Kahoun, and you're locked into another episode of the Commissioner's Couch Fantasy Football Podcast. How you doing, Dave?
Woo!
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. I'm currently drafting as we speak, so that's funny.
Nice.
Tonight is season 3, episode 33 overall. So we got threes all across the board, David. And after last week's deep dive of the AFC, we're flipping the map to finish the job. We broke down every storyline, every on the other side of the league in the AFC, and now it's time to turn our attentions to the NFC. The half of the NFL where the questions feel a little louder, the depth charts feel a little looser, and the next 2 weeks you might actually decide who touches the football in real games. This isn't the usual Camp Buzz episode as we showed you last week. This is the stretch where coaches stop talking in hypotheticals and start making decisions. We're really close, David, to the 53-man cutdown.
Oh yeah. Less than a week away, right?
Yeah, pretty crazy. You got rookies who could either be buried or be one clean preseason drive away from jumping into fantasy relevance. And we're gonna talk about all of them now in the NFC. So settle in, get comfortable, grab whatever you're drinking tonight, and let's talk about the training camp news on the NFC.
Let's go. I am so excited because there's been a lot that's happened, I feel like, over the last week or so, and here we are getting ready to talk all about it. And I feel like the NFC has a lot more fun storylines than the AFC, my personal take. I feel like the AFC is kind of like a lot of teams are trying to tank in the AFC, and the NFC has a lot of teams that are trying to win. So it feels a little more fun to me.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you are liking what you're listening to, please go ahead and give us a follow. We are trying to just grow every week that we can, and we are literally in the midst of fantasy football season. As Mossor said, he's drafting tonight. So please go ahead and follow us. You're going to want to get as much information from us as you can as you go into your drafts over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a fun time, so please follow us on social media, wherever you're at, Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok, pretty much everywhere that you are, we're trying to be. So please follow us and subscribe to us. You can also find us wherever you get your podcast from. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Boom Player, Podbean, pretty much everywhere you are. So please turn on automatic downloads, give us a like, leave us a review. Just listen to us on 3 times speed even if you want to. Just that'll helps us grow, and we just want to help as many people out as we can for the fantasy football season. So without further ado, let's get into it, Moss.
Let's do it, man. Well, real quick, we are brought to you by MossorMomentsPhotography.com. Mossor Moments Photography, we are a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland who specialize in providing the best wedding photos in Northeast Ohio. It's my company along with my wife. Check out our website at MossorMomentsPhotography.com. That's MOSSOR MomentsPhotography.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice ticker.
Hey, thanks. I'm working on it here.
There you go. I appreciate you.
Yeah. So how you doing?
Dude, I'm good. I've had 4 drafts in the last 2 days, and I'm drafting in 2 leagues right now while hosting 2 podcasts back to back. So
nice.
busy.
Oh yeah, I love draft season. It's so
it's
fun.
It's fun. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm in this one is 8 hours between picks. The slow draft. So it's a lot of fun there. Yeah, some drafts guys for those who don't just do like the family redrafts and that's it. Some drafts last like 3 months. Yeah, I'm in one that's been in right now going in 2.5 months, and we still have like 4 rounds left, which will probably take the last 2 weeks of the training camp, which is
and
insane.
It's also like what is it? 14 people or something like that league?
This one's 16, yeah.
16, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's a big
league.
A
lot of fun. But yeah, 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours between picks. Once you get real deep into fantasy football, it's pretty common. So
yeah. Well, I'm excited because, as I said earlier, the NFC I feel like has a much more entertaining storylines because there's more teams trying to win, trying to prove themselves. A lot less teams that are going to be like at the Browns and Jets level and Dolphins level that were like in the AFC. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to jump in because I think it's going to be a fun time, and there's just a lot of stories to talk about. So, are you ready?
Let's do it. Let's dive in, bro.
Let's do it. So we are going to start with the NFC North Division. That would be the Chicago Bears, the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, and the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes,
a division overall, which I think is pretty strong. Maybe not the strongest one in the NFL, but should have a lot of really good fantasy value in it. You've got teams like the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, which are all trying to push to compete, push for a Super Bowl, a deep playoff run. And then you have teams like the Vikings that are no slouch either. They've got a lot of immense talent on that offense, specifically at wide receiver. And now they brought in a quarterback to help them continue to push to be competitive. So overall, I like this division a lot. There's a lot of people I'm targeting from this division for fantasy football this year. But let's start with the Chicago Bears, Moss. What are some of the training camp stories that are happening?
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams looks really good out there.
Oh, yeah.
He's finally playing with total command. He allegedly looks quicker with his reads, and he's controlling protections and pushing the ball downfield with a lot of confidence. From a fantasy standpoint, he's trending towards a breakout tier. I think he could be possibly a top 10, maybe even better this year if it all falls into plan. If Luther Burden stays healthy, if DeAndre Swift can take another step forward, Roma Dunze shows something out there. DeAndre Swift is obviously the most consistent piece in this offense. I so far in training camp, I'd say he's hitting holes decisively. He's involved in the passing game. He's showing the kind of burst that I think translate directly into fantasy production. Not to mention they have Kyle Monangai, who, if you listen to Chicago fans, they love this guy. They love him. I follow this podcast. I can't remember the name. I'm sorry, but it's too young. I'm talking like 10-year-olds, and they're Cowboys fans, and they talk about fantasy football. So they're really funny, kind of goofy, and they list him as the number one player in the NFL. They love Kyle Monangai. So it's really really funny that they admit they glaze him, but nonetheless it's funny to look.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude, it's really funny. The wide receivers, Roma Dunze is the steady producer and the guy who's going to rack up targets because Caleb Williams trusts him in every situation, and Luther Burden is when fully healthy is supposed to be that explosive threat who can flip fantasy matchups with one play. And then I'm also hearing great things about Xavier Thomas, their rookie from LSU, who's been flashing. Well, he got injured, but was flashing a lot before his injury. Colston Loveland, a lot of people are saying he's becoming the quote I guess get me out of trouble option.
Safety valve, yeah.
Yeah, that's a better word. When the pocket collapses or the timing gets thrown off, Caleb Williams is looking for him early and often. We'll see. I know you're incredibly high on him.
I am.
You projected him to be the tight end 1 this year.
I did. Tight end 1, yes. That's
I don't know. I do like the player. I just don't know if his he had like 5 games in a row where he's just scored crazy amounts of points. I don't know if that's going to be sustainable. That was at the end of the season last year after a bunch of injuries. There's a lot of mouths to feed. So I do think the player is good. I don't think he's better than Tyler Warren, but I digress. And their offensive line is probably their biggest variable for Chicago, especially fantasy. I would say they still haven't settled on the left tackle. And there's other guys that are just returning to the mix, and until they lock that down, you have to expect some volatility, I would say, in both the run game and the pass protection. But I don't know. I'm excited about this team. Caden Davis would be a sleeper I'm looking at as well. He keeps popping up. His name is popping up a lot with big catches and contested grabs and stuff as well, especially in the red zone. So check him out. So.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. The biggest storyline here is all about Caleb Williams. Can he make the leap that everybody's expected him to make in year 3? I guess year 2 under Ben Johnson, but year 3 overall in the NFL. You talked about the offensive line a little bit, reworked it, new center, new left tackle. They're still trying to figure out, but yeah, can Caleb Williams make all the pieces around him fit and make it continue to be an explosive offense? I'm also pretty high on Kyle Monangai, so those 10-year-olds, I kind of.
I don't know if I mean it's fun, but dude, I've had a fly in this room for 2 weeks, and I am getting pissed. I keep on forgetting to kill this thing. Sorry, gosh, it's been bothering me. It keeps landing on my mic. I want to join the talk.
It is. Yeah. That's why your takes are so bad. That makes sense.
Piss off.
Idiot. But yeah, I also think there's a possibility that Kyle Monangai can really push to at least split that backfield more with DeAndre Swift or just take it over. So I'm curious to see what happens there. But yeah, you mentioned all the weapons out there. Colston Loveland is going to be my tight end 1 going into this year. I think he's due for a breakout season. He had a really strong stretch at the end of the year, looked really, really comfortable with Caleb Williams. I think, he's just going to be somebody who's going to continue to feast for fantasy purposes. I personally like Roma Dunze more than Luther Burden. He was drafted higher. I think he's got more skill. I think the coaching staff's finally figured out how to use him a little bit. So I think we'll see more of Rome Odunze featured in this offense and a focal point of it too. So we'll see what happens, but those are kind of the big stories. Can Caleb Williams take a leap? Can they figure out and get some consistency with this offensive line? And who from this receiving core takes a leap forward? So I'm excited for this team. If you're drafting right now like Mossor is, target some of these Chicago Bears players because somebody's going to blow up and become a sleeper that's going to help you win a league.
Caden Davis.
Maybe, honestly.
I'm kidding.
Sleeper. All right. Well, let's jump into the Detroit Lions. A team that I feel like for the last couple of years has been a really explosive offense. Had normally spearheaded from that running back room, and this year there's just that one running back that's left in Jahmyr Gibbs. And so, yeah, it should be a good offense again, I think. Not a lot has changed. The offensive line is still healthy. Penei Sewell slid over to left tackle, and I think that'll help a lot in the pass game. So overall, I think there's a lot to like here. Really, nobody's dealing with any injuries yet, knock on wood. So overall, I like where the Lions look right now. I know you just drafted Jared Goff in one of your leagues, so I'm sure you're a believer in him too. But yeah, talk about the Lions. What are the storylines here?
I have confidence in Goff. I like the weapons around him. I like the scheme. I think that he's a reliable, competent quarterback who will. It's a guillotine league, so I just need to survive week 1. That's about it. So
last year first.
There you go. I'm excited. I don't know. The one thing to know I've heard is the chemistry with Jameson Williams has been undeniable. It's taken a major step forward in this training camp, and I think that's a big thing. Goff isn't necessarily flashy, but he's very stable. He's a stable quarterback, and in fantasy, stability matters. Absolutely. Luke Altmaier has been a surprise as well. He's been getting thrown into the fire with Teddy Bridgewater retiring and he's not necessarily draftable, but he's worth monitoring if Goff ever misses time. He looked good in the preseason games. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs, I put him this year as my shot as the RB1. Now he's the highest paid running back in the NFL, and he looks the part. He's explosive. He's involved in the passing game. He's going to be the centerpiece of this offense, absolutely. I'm not necessarily worried. Isaiah Pacheco is a fine running back. I don't think he's ever going to be the same guy he was previous of his injury last year, but he's not David Montgomery.
Correct. Old man Kareem Hunt just signed with them too.
Not worried about it. Yeah, Kareem Hunt maybe red zone touches, but even then you still have Jahmyr Gibbs, so you're going to use them. Jameson Williams has been the story. He's been looking like a completely different player. I've heard better hands, better route nuance, and just feel for coverage in general.
So here's the thing. I've heard this the last 2 to 3 off seasons.
I hear you.
And at some point, I'm like, how many times are you going to cry wolf before I believe you? So
let me look him up quick. Jameson Williams last year, he had a couple good games in a row there. The first 1, 2, 3, dude. All right, week 1, 29 points. Week 2, 29 points. Week 3, 26 points. Week 4, 27, 28, 24, 24, 25. That's insane.
Okay, I stand corrected. He had a breakout season last year.
He was a wide receiver 10. I can keep going.
Okay.
27, 30, 33, 30. He had no this is weird score. Oh, weird scoring. This is a different league, but nonetheless, he was a wide receiver 10 in fantasy last year. So, and that's behind Amon-Ra St. Brown. But nonetheless, he had a good year last year. I feel like last year was his breakout year, and if he's looking better this year, I'm excited about it. Especially, like I said, not being that main option. If he can be the Jameson Williams that we've hoped and expected, and like I said, picks up where he left off last year, count me in. The center position is a little scary for me. Cade Mays going down obviously is forcing Detroit to shuffle bodies in that position.
Yeah.
Is that going to affect? It's going to affect everything. The center touches the ball every play. So, can they overcome that? Probably, but it's something to look out for sure. But, the sleeper, probably I would say Luke Altmaier. He's getting, real reps, and if, he's flashing a little bit. But if he flashes and Goff goes down, it might be someone to pick up. So
interesting. All right. Well, I stand corrected on Jameson Williams.
You're good. If I go to a different league, it'll probably be better scoring, but
Yeah,
this
but
is
it's okay.
kind of
I get the point you're making.
Yeah.
So
wide receiver 10.
nice. All right, well, let's jump into their rivals, the Green Bay Packers. They made a bunch of moves this offseason and kind of cleaned out the wide receiver room a little bit, moving Romeo Doubs away, Dontavian Wicks. They still have a lot of the homegrown people that they've drafted over the last handful of years. But who's going to emerge as a wide receiver? That's kind of my big takeaway from training camp. So why don't you tell us who's going to emerge, Moss?
I'm hearing Matthew Golden, which I'm actually pretty surprised about, to be
Interesting.
honest.
Okay.
I did not like the player coming out of college. I thought he was inflated by obviously the playoffs. And I was not necessarily a fan of him, especially in the first round. But he's emerging as a breakout candidate. They're saying, he's winning deep, he's winning underneath, he's winning after the catch. Jaden Reed is the volume guy who's going to rack up targets in that offense. Christian Watson is going to be that boomer bust option, I think. But Matthew Golden might just become the wide receiver one. I'm also hearing Savion Williams' name a lot.
Ooh, he's also a year 2 wide receiver.
Yeah, he was the wide receiver running back hybrid out of TCU.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's quietly carving out a role that could matter if injuries hit for sure. He's big, he's fast. The biggest knock on him was his hands coming out of college, but if they're saying he's taking a step forward, that's something to watch for sure. So
interesting. Yeah, I feel like so far I've put a lot of my eggs in the Jaden Reed basket for a lot of drafts because he's just somebody I know is going to get a lot of targets and looks. But yeah,
or are they going to bench him randomly?
I mean, you're not wrong. That's probably will happen. But Matthew Golden is somebody who I have also just not believed in to start. I would like to be proven wrong on this because I think it would help a lot of people out in fantasy football. But yeah, I'm kind of riding the Tucker Kraft, Jaden Reed train and not really looking anywhere else on that offense. So
yeah, especially with Josh Jacobs.
I was about to bring that up. Yeah,
go ahead.
No, you're good. He just is probably going to be suspended. I know there was some news today that happened. I don't remember off the top of my head what it was.
2 misdemeanors he was charged with.
Okay.
Pertaining, I think, to domestic violence. So.
Yeah. So, if that's the case, you want to find Marshawn Lloyd in your team. In your league, he might be available. I think he would become the running back one.
Yeah, that sucks. I have a lot of shares in Josh Jacobs. I'm not gonna lie. I even drafted him thinking maybe he was not going to get punished this year, and that would be killer. So, I'm not a fan necessarily of Marshawn Lloyd just because of sustainability. Obviously, he's been injured forever. Was a promising prospect coming out of USC, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Josh Jacobs, but without Josh Jacobs, that's going to be not a very great offense, I would say. They can't just rely on Tucker Kraft and a receiver by committee or 3 wide receiver 3s or 2s, I don't know. Their defense is very, very good too.
Yeah.
A lot really good. They're blitzing like crazy and getting a lot of sacks and
that's even without Micah Parsons right now because he's still recovering. So
right, yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, check out Savion Williams as the sleeper. But, yeah, this offense, hopefully Josh Jacobs, in terms of, if he's guilty, by the extent of the law, get out. I don't know. Yeah. You get what you get. But if, for fantasy standpoint, if you got him, hopefully he plays. So
yeah, hopefully. All right, well, let's move on to the last team in the North. That would be the Minnesota Vikings. Go Skull. So this was a very weird offseason for the Vikings as well. They had somewhat of a quarterback competition, quote unquote, between Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy. Kyler Murray appears to have won it. So the leftover question just is, what are they doing with J.J. McCarthy now? Is he going to be traded? Is he going to be kept and continue to develop because Kyler Murray's only there for 1 year? I'm just very curious. So what other thoughts do you have for the Minnesota Vikings?
J.J. McCarthy sucks, and the only reason he's in the NFL is because he knew the plays that he was going up against in college. I told everyone this when he was drafted. I told him last year, and now we can see proof of concept on the field because dude is garbage. He lost to a 4'2" quarterback in Kyler Murray who has his struggles of his own. I don't know. I'm not a fan of J.J. McCarthy, and I'm not. It's not just because he, cheated his way to. Screw that guy. He sucks at quarterback, and he's a cheating loser. And I hope he loses his job in the NFL and works at McDonald's. I could care less. The running game. I feel like the running game is probably the biggest question with this team.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason has been ripping off chunk plays in camp, especially in outside zone, and Aaron Jones is the veteran presence. They're saying that there should be a 50-50 split still, but Mason is looking like the guy with the juice. So how long will that hold? I'm not sure. And they also drafted Demond Claiborne out of Wake Forest,
Yep.
who's showed flashes of explosiveness too. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Ty Felton, the wide receiver out of Maryland, going into a second round, has been flashing as well. And it's big, he's fast, and if he can become a true wide receiver 3, that might be a big problem, I'd say. And then they have Hawkinson, who's I think a bust. So
Yeah.
just
I agree with you. The running back room is one I'm watching, specifically for Demond Claiborne. I think Jordan Mason's good. He's very talented, but he's had a lot of injury concerns over the last couple of years. And so can he prove that he's going to be reliable to be available? I don't know. Aaron Jones, I think at this point, just is kind of at the tail end of his career, so it is what it is. And they're probably going to need somebody starting next year to kind of become that running back one or compete for it. And I think Claiborne is who they're kind of hoping becomes that. And so I wouldn't be surprised if halfway through the season that he starts to emerge as a late season sleeper to target in drafts and target on the waiver wire to help fantasy teams do well. So keep him in mind for sure.
Yeah, I just respectfully for fantasy in general, historically a running back that's been drafted in the 4th round or later cannot be depended on, and he's been in the 6th round. He was drafted in the 6th round. I mean, I understand that yeah, there may not be that guy and you're hoping, but I do not like putting eggs in baskets and running back specifically, especially when this running back class was supposed to be pretty I would say pretty strong.
Yeah.
6th round, I don't know, 198th overall. I mean, he might be something to look at, but I'm not expecting this guy to take over. I'm not. I mean, his history is on my side as well.
Yeah.
Watch him, but I'm not throwing my eggs in that basket just yet. So.
That's fair. Yeah, it's something to watch, though, I think, as the season progresses. So, all right, shall we jump into the NFC South?
Let's do it. Hump up.
Sorry, you were saying something.
Real quick, yeah. Who do you think is going to win the NFC North, just out of for fun?
Ooh, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears because I picked Caleb Williams and Colston Loveland to finish as the number ones of their position for the fantasy football. So, go Bears.
I'm gonna stop saying go other teams. You're so weird.
I'm gonna go. Hard for me to root for my team right now. So.
Yeah, nonetheless, you don't want to wear the NFL hat like Rob Lowe. Just pick one team. I'm gonna take the Lions. I think their offense is really good. I'm excited about Gibbs finally getting that RB1 role and not having to share it. We'll see what happens. So
yeah, that's fair. Those are
all
good picks. All right, NFC South. We've got the Atlanta Falcons, the Carolina Panthers, the New Orleans Saints, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a division as a whole where I feel like the last 2 years has been a little bit weaker, but I feel like there's some teams here now that are finally starting to emerge as some competitive teams. Maybe not juggernauts per se, but still competitive. But let's start with the Atlanta Falcons. They hired in the new head coach, Kevin Stefanski, Ryan Mossor's favorite coach of all time. It's his first camp, and he is dealing with yet again another quarterback battle. This time between the lefties, Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix Jr., even though Michael Penix still has not cleared for football activities yet. He's still working his way back from that ACL tear, so we'll see what happens there. Overall, I'll be honest with you, this is not my favorite team from this division. I think the defense has a lot of question marks. They need to figure out what they're doing on the defensive line. The secondary, I think, is a little bit weak as well. I don't know why I said the word secondary so weird. And overall, if you've got a quarterback position like this going into week 3 of the preseason, you really are kind of screwed now. So they should have just picked Tua to start and kind of gone from it at that point, I think. And even now, they should still commit to Tua for week 1 at the very least because they don't know if Penix is going to be available. And I think they're just doing a disservice to the rest of that team. So, what are your thoughts from training camp here for the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah, I think both quarterbacks suck. I think Tua's they should have stuck with him. Should have kept him as a starter. Apparently, he's trending towards actually putting a couple decent practices together after a slow start. But that's not very promising to me. Bijan is clearly the heart and soul of this team, the offense.
Yep.
He's going to be the centerpiece. He's explosive. He's versatile. We know about him, obviously. He's going to be incredibly heavily involved. Brian Robinson Jr. Is going to be mixing in and getting kick return reps. Did you see my tweet? Somebody accidentally drafted Brian Robinson Jr. Second overall instead of Bijan and tried to get it fixed. And apparently the commissioner said grow a brain. So, we were warning
Good for that commissioner.
$600 legal allegedly too, which is insane. But nonetheless, what a major mistake. We said, it was parody. Oh, what if this happened? Allegedly it happened. So that's pretty funny. So yeah. Drake London is having the camp that, makes you feel good after drafting him finally. Hopefully the big issue with him is just his durability, of course.
Yep.
He's got to stay healthy, but so far in camp he's winning against top corners, dominating and contesting catches, and he clearly is going to be the first read in this passing offense. Kyle Pitts, I'm not as high on Kyle Pitts as everyone else. He did play well last year. He was, tight end 2 overall. But if you take away just one game against the Buccaneers, I think it was. Let me see. Yeah, Buccaneers week 15. If you take that away, he's like tight end 14. So one good game.
More to the tight end position as a whole than it does to Kyle Pitts.
I guess, but I wouldn't be drafting him as the tight end 2 like he finished. He's probably going to fall somewhere between 8 and 15 in the middle of the pack, especially in this Kevin Stefanski offense. I mean, he does utilize tight ends well, but also he's just an incompetent moron, so I can't trust him. Sorry, I got
I'm with you on the whole Pitts deal. We saw flashes. We continue to just see flashes, and that's it.
I'm tired of Kyle Pitts flashing me, bro. God.
Just creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, at some point, I don't know. I just can't buy into the hype anymore. And it's been year after year after year of Kyle Pitts going to be the tight end 1, and he never really lives up to it. And so I'm still not a firm believer in him. I like not Gibbs. Bijan and Drake London from this offense, and that's really about it. If you need a late round sleeper quarterback, maybe take Tua, but even then, I'd still avoid
it. Sleeper, I would probably go Olamide Zaccheaus.
Not Zachariah Branch?
I mean, yeah. Well, I don't think he's a sleeper. He's going to be wide receiver too. So
okay.
Yeah, you're talking sleeper here. Yeah, Zachariah Branch is going to be wide receiver too. He's very good in the slot. Sleeper Olamide.
All right. Well, let's jump in then to the Carolina Panthers, the next team on the list. This is going to be a big year for Bryce Young. He kind of earned his spot back as a starter last year. And we're going to see what happens. The offensive line is very chaotic there. They're getting blown up in practice. They drafted a first-rounder in Monroe Freeling, who I really liked a lot. They're going to play him at right tackle. We'll see what happens. And they've got some good pieces there on the defensive line that are still young. But yeah, overall, I kind of actually like this team because of Tet McMillan. I'm a huge fan of him. He's very, very talented. A big body receiver that can get open and just catch everything that's thrown his way. So overall, I'm actually buying this team right now. I have more faith and hope and belief in them than I do in the Atlanta Falcons. So I think, put them a little bit above the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay. Yeah, I like Bryce Young. I think he had a great bounce back year last year. My question with the team is going to be the running back room. Jonathan Brooks looks to possibly be taking over that spot as RB1. Probably in week 1, especially with Chuba Hubbard, who's dealing with an injury, but it's supposedly a 50-50 split. Don't know who the guy is. If Brooks could be is the guy. I mean, there's a ton of potential there. Obviously, there's those injury concerns, but he has been explosive, He's a patient runner. He's dangerous in space. This is all speculative until we actually see him actually play a real game, of course. But the question is, how quickly could he or will he earn a full workload? So I don't know. Especially with Chuba Hubbard, who has just had major flashes, has taken over the backfield and then completely lost it last year to Dowdle. Been back and forth. We don't know. He could take the job. He could completely just hand it over. We have no idea. I have a lot of questions about the running back room. Yeah, Ted McMillan is an absolute beast. Former Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I expect him to stack off that. He's going to be a very, very good receiver this year. And that's about it. I don't really. Their offensive line is garbage, so I don't think they're good at all. They've been a problem for the last 2 or 3 years. They drafted Monroe Freeling. I think that Monroe Freeling was a good developmental, hopeful potential. Good left tackle, right tackle, wherever they put him. You said right tackle?
I think the right tackle, yeah.
Yeah, he has not had enough experience in college. He only played 18 games total. We'll see. I'm glad the Browns didn't draft him. So.
Yeah, I think Spencer Fano's doing just fine. So.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens to that running back room too. For the sake of just positivity and human life, I just want to see Jonathan Brooks stay healthy because being hurt for that long is just brutal. So feel for him there. But yeah, I would love to see what he looks like throughout a full NFL season and get a good idea of what kind of value you have there. Right now, I personally think he's being drafted a little bit too high just because of the unknown that's there. People, I think, are buying into that unknown and hyping it up way more than they should. But it could pan out. So
he's going to have 2 major ACL injuries.
Insane, yes.
I would not be buying high on a guy like that. I mean, there's potential, but I would definitely be modest for sure.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, let's jump into, I think, the most exciting team in this division. Dare I say it? The New Orleans Saints.
Ooh. Interesting. I thought you were
going to take. No, I did. You thought I was going with the Buccaneers. No, I went with the Saints. A team that I think is on the rise right now. They have their quarterback in Tyler Shuck going into year 2. Will he have a sophomore slump? Will he continue to perform well? We will see. They've got some new offensive weapons in there. They signed Travis Etienne over the offseason. They drafted my guy Jordan Tyson. They still have Chris Olave. Just a group that needs to stay healthy, really, though. So we'll see what happens there. But overall, I like this team a lot. They still have Alvin Kamara, who's dealing with an injury himself. But overall, there's a lot there to like in that offense. What are your thoughts on the training camp so far?
Yeah, Tyler Shuck. He has surprised me so much. I did not like him coming out of the draft. I thought he played very well last year when he got his opportunity, and so far it sounds like he's been stacking on that. He's been a little up and down. Some sharp throws, some questionable decisions, but get more chemistry with the offense, especially with the receivers. He's just going to get better. Chris Olave is going to be the heartbeat of this offense. And like you said, Jordan Tyson is, I think, going to be a very, very good player of this offense. If he can, get away from these hamstring injuries that have been bugging him since, 2 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Chris Olave, he was I think he's 7th overall receiver last year. Definitely had a breakout year. There was a lot of questions if maybe he was even going to retire because of the concussions and things like that. And he shut down all of those questions last year. Another guy who a lot of people are talking about, David, and you kind of made fun of me, Barian Brown. Do you remember me talking about him?
I do remember him from our draft podcast.
He was my wide receiver what?
I want to say 5.
4.
So close.
Wide receiver 4 in this draft. I love Barian Brown. First from Kentucky, then transferred to LSU last year. He's been forcing his way into the conversation so far. He's very, very fast. World-class fast. Yep. He's explosive. He's been confident. He's getting more reps with the starters as well. So deeper fantasy leagues, check out Barian Brown, guys. I was right about Jalen Lane so far. He was my wide receiver 5. Barian Brown was my wide receiver 4. So, take that with a grain of salt. But, I really like him, and I think he could be a major part of this offense once he gets more opportunities and confidence from his quarterback. Juwan Johnson, is also
Meh.
just very. I think he's at least reliable, which is
Oh
something.
yeah, serviceable for sure.
Yes, he gets red zone work. He's involved in the middle of the field. He's clearly trusted by his quarterback. I don't think he's necessarily a world class athlete or anything like that, but he's someone who will be. You need a stopgap. You don't have one of the top tight ends, or you just want a maybe at least an average week with a potential touchdown involved. Grab Jawan Johnson. So
Yeah, yeah. I also really like, especially now to start the season, Travis Etienne.
yeah,
I
I know
think
you do. You love this dude.
he's going to be so dynamic in both the run and pass. He's going to be check down Charlie for somebody like Tyler Shuck, and I think, especially without Kamara to start the season, he should be really, really utilized a lot and put up some really good numbers for fantasy football.
Yeah, I agree to start, but I'm still nervous about Kamara coming back. I understand he's older, his body's breaking down a little bit, but he is still very dynamic. He's beloved in that city and on that team and in that offense. And I mean, he could be a nasty little thorn in the side of ETN. ETN, I think he's a really good player. I don't on that offense though. So.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, well, let's jump into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Winner of the division this year,
You think they're going to win it?
I think.
I'm going to go with the Saints, actually. But, yeah, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they lost some key veteran players. Vita Vea, did he ever sign? I don't remember. I haven't heard anything.
Pretty sure he did. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
I
great.
just saw him practicing. So.
Oh, good. Mike Evans left and is now in San Francisco. Who's going to step up at wide receiver, I feel like, is the biggest question mark. Everybody's assuming it's going to be Emeka Egbuka. I think that's a safe bet, personally. But besides that, who do they really have? They have Ted Hurston, a rookie. They've got Chris Godwin, who's old man with a broken leg. A couple of second-year wide receivers, but behind that, nobody really knows. I actually really like the running back room, too, here. But tell me more. What are your thoughts on the Buccaneers training camp?
Yeah, I mean, this is a do or die season for Baker. It's, I mean, he wants a contract extension. He's going to be playing the season out and then exploring those contract extensions after the season. So obviously, he's going to want to play his best. I do like the receiver room. Obviously, they've been just riddled with injuries. I feel like the last 4 years, even right now, they're nagging little injuries with Emeka Egbuka, Jalen McMillan, Tez Johnson, and David Sills, all of them dealing with injuries right now. Is forcing them to lean on rookies more. So Ted Hurst is getting more looks and looking. I think he looks
good,
great
yeah.
so far.
Yeah.
Somebody definitely to check out. They're looking for. Is he Mike Evans? No, but someone's got to play that role, and it might be Ted Hurst the third. I do like the running back room as well. I personally love Bucky Irving. I think this year's obviously a put up or shut up year. His rookie year he was dominant. Last year he was struggled with injuries and did not play very well. But I think that with the healthy offseason, and not to mention Kenneth Gainwell as well. Kind of helping him out a little bit. Maybe we'll give him a little less pressure. Yeah. Kenneth Gainwell is going to eat into his snaps for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, especially with out of the backfield catching the ball. Kenneth Gainwell was a very, very good player. He was really good with the Steelers last year and had his breakout year last year. So It's going to be a 1-2 punch, but I like both of these guys a lot. I think that Bucky's going to have a better year than he did last year, and I think Gainwell's just going to continue to make that running back room better. And Cade Otton, I don't think he's any slouch too. He's not, like I said, he's not a top guy. He's kind of like Jawan Johnson, a middle of the pack guy, but Baker likes him, and they just extended him. He's still the main guy, and he's probably a draftable tight end too. So yeah. And then their offensive line is probably it's a concern. I would say Wirfs is sidelined still, and he's a very, very good left tackle. And without him, the protection is going to be shaky and has been shaky so far. So it's something to monitor for sure. But Baker is going to be Baker. He's going to try to extend plays, and he's playing for money this year. So a lot on the table. So I'm going to bet on Baker.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm curious to see how this running back room shakes up touch-wise. I think both are very good. You're higher on Bucky Irving than I am, but I still like him. I think he'll be very good, and if he stays healthy, a very serviceable fantasy football option. But Kenny G, I'm telling you, he should be a really good piece for this passing game moving forward. If you're in a PPR league, I would definitely target him towards the later rounds of your draft. A big fan of him. So
I would definitely, if you get Bucky, you pretty much need to get Gainwell as that handcuff, guys.
yeah.
Or at least try to. If he's around where you're picking and you don't, I just grab him. So.
Yep. Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, let's jump into the NFC East. The NFC East. This is your Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Washington Commanders. So overall, a pretty strong division here. A lot of teams here looking to compete, looking to build off of what they've already established with some young quarterbacks, and a team that won a Super Bowl recently, trying to win another one. So overall, I think it should be a really fun division for fantasy football. It usually always is. But yeah, let's jump in with the Dallas Cowboys to start. A pretty, I guess, nothing burger over the offseason. Nothing really changed too much. They made some good draft picks. They franchise tagged George Pickens, so they kind of kept it all status quo. But yeah, tell me what's going on in training camp for the Cowboys.
Honestly, nothing on this offense is probably the best news. I mean, they were incredible offense last year. Their defense was world-class dookie, but their offense was fantastic. Dak looks like a quarterback who knows exactly what this offense is supposed to be. Even with the occasional misfire, the timing, the anticipation, and the trust with his receivers are all there. I mean, when you have CeeDee Lamb, it's not very difficult. Not to mention George Pickens had just an incredible year last year. The chemistry between him and Dak really took off, and even when CeeDee was out, George Pickens looked like a top 5 wide receiver, and when he was in, he still looked like a top 10 receiver. Very, very good. The running back room, Javonte Williams, I'm hearing some really, really great things about him. He's been the engine of this team. He looks quicker. He looks more decisive. He looks comfortable in the scheme than he did last year, and he's going to get a lot of early down work, I think. He's going to get goal line touches. He's going to get heavily involved in this offense. A lot of people have been waiting for the Cowboys to draft a running back. They thought maybe Omarion Hampton. They thought, Jerry Jones opened his big fat stupid mouth about Jonathan Brooks before they were able to draft him, and Carolina swooped in. Like, they never really found that guy, but then they took a chance at Javonte last year, and he really stepped up, and he's looking to double down this year. So I'm excited about that. Jake Ferguson is having a very good camp. I'm hearing very, very good camp. Probably one of the best in the league. He's winning all the time up the seam. He's winning in traffic. He's becoming, I think, Dak's one of the most trusted options. And that's saying a lot with a guy like CeeDee Lamb and even George Pickens on your team. So. Yeah, we'll see. I think this offense is going to pick up where they left off. Their defense, I think, is going to suck. Still, I think Caleb Downs, the addition of him is incredible. He's been amazing, and I think that's going to continue. Quinnen Williams, can he take an even bigger role in that defense? Hopefully. He's going to be anchoring in the middle and give them legitimate fantasy ceiling, I think. But can their secondary hold on enough? I don't think Caleb Downs is enough yet. It might take a couple more pieces, and that linebacker room I don't think is very good at all. Sleeper to watch, check out Ryan Flournoy. He's earning a lot of trust. He had a couple decent games when his number has been called, but then he got stuff back in the pocket for later. But I'm hearing really good things about him. If he could become the wide receiver 3, might be a guy to check on. So
interesting. I feel like everybody right now is hyping up Camden Brown. So
sure.
That's a sleeper I've heard of from this camp. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. I think this defense still needs another year or two to develop and grow. But no news for this offense is good news. So see what happens. George Pickens should be good. CeeDee Lamb, you mentioned. Javonte Williams. I've heard some good things from Jaden Blue as well from this camp. So overall, I think this offense is going to
him and Malik Davis. We're mixing in. They're both decent depth pieces, I would say. So
yeah. Alrighty, well, let's move on to the New York Football Giants. John Harbaugh, his first training camp here as the Giants head coach. Year 2 for Jackson Dart. Matt Nagy is going to be the offensive coordinator. So let's just start with the training camp. What are you hearing? Is Cam Scadaboo still doing flips? Like, what's going on?
No, he's starting fights now, bro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's all going to come down to Jackson Dart, clearly. I love the potential, but he's still a work in progress. But I can't deny that the flashes that he's shown are real. When he's in rhythm, he's decisive, he's aggressive, he's pretty good. But when he's off, the offense sputters. Hopefully, with Cam Scatterby back, hopefully that alleviates some of the stress. I don't know. It just seems like. Have you seen what is it? 22 Jump Street, not the first one.
I have.
Is when Channing Tatum is a receiver at this college with this quarterback, and the announcer's like, it's like they're sharing the same brain, just one single brain. Like I feel like that's Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterby. They're just
Definitely
they're conjoined at the brain, you know. So just for morale standpoint, hopefully he's out there because I think Jackson Dart plays better with Cam Scatterby out there. Tyrone Tracy, I hear, is having a great camp as well. He's getting all the first rep, or a lot of the first reps when Scatterby is still, healing up. He's explosive, he's versatile. He can catch out of the backfield, which is good. And I mean, Najee Harris.
Just signed him.
A wild card, but I've seen him running on a treadmill really fast and making some cuts not very fast. So we'll see. In a straight line, he looks like he's pretty fast though. So just something to watch, especially if Scatterby has a setback, because that boy plays angry and plays a way that a lot of guys end up getting hurt. So I'm not obviously rooting for that, but when you play head first down, I don't know.
It's a variable you have to consider.
Right, yeah. Malik Neighbors, I think, is a future of his offense. Even in limited reps, he's still explosive. I was very nervous with that softball video of him running to first base, but it seems like he's much better now. So I don't know. I'm excited. A lot of buzz with Darnell Mooney, but I'm not even going to talk about that guy. That guy's a bum. That guy's an absolute bum. They're saying he's having
burned you too many times.
Having a strong camp. He's winning deep, creating separation. He can separate. I'm gonna just shut up. He sucks. I'm gonna be stupid here. And then Odell. I mean, it's fun. He's fighting for a roster spot. We'll see. Isaiah Likely is going to be a star of this offense, I think, especially
I think so too.
Coming over with Harbaugh. He's already becoming Jackson Dart's favorite target. He's dominating over the middle of the field and clearly the obviously top option in the passing game until Malik Neighbors is fully back. So I would be stashing Isaiah Likely for sure. So.
Another one I would be stashing is Malachi Fields, actually. Because all the reports I'm hearing is that he should be wide receiver 2.
Well, without Neighbors in there, he's wide receiver 1. So
yeah. But yeah, he looks good from what I'm hearing, so which is exciting. Overall, I think if this team can get a defense, they could be a really competitive team. I think that's kind of what's holding them back right now. They have the young pieces on offense. If they can have a defense that can kind of hold it together and keep them in games, they could be a really, really competitive team.
Yeah, their defense. I feel like their defense is a streaming defense with the right matchup. They're a little better. I mean, they still have Brian Burns. They have DJ Reader. They have young linebackers that have been flying around. Arvell Reese looks, incredible. So a streamer defense for sure. We don't usually advocate for starting defenses, but defense does affect fantasy because the longer your defense is out there, it's going to affect your offense one way or the other. So
yeah.
Alrighty, well, let's jump into the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts is learning the new offensive coordinator's playbook. I feel like it's going pretty well from what I've seen. The Shanahan style of offense. Can he develop chemistry with these new receivers is also a big storyline that I'm hearing in this offseason. I don't know about you, but it seems like Devonta Smith is pretty much a clear-cut number one receiver. Nobody else is even close to him. So it should be interesting to see what happens with Dontavian Wicks, Mekhi Lemon, and some of the other ones there. But we'll see what happens. I think this team should be really good again, but what else are you hearing? What is the running back room looking like? Who's going to be the tight end there? Hit me with it.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley is looking really good, and that's something that's
always a good thing.
Yeah, especially with a not so great season last year, But they're saying he's looking explosive again. He's being more decisive, and he's fully integrated in the offense again. Finally, they're using him in space. They're using him on screens, and he's going to get a ton of goal line. He's Saquon Barkley. I think Saquon is finally back to his first year with the Eagles. So. That's definitely something. Jalen Hurts is still probably one of the most valuable quarterbacks in football just because of his rushing floor. It's absolutely elite. His red zone usage is elite too. And the passing game looks more structured, I think, than last season. A.J. Brown off the team, I think, is actually just going to help them by addition, by subtraction. And I like A.J. Brown. I think A.J. Brown with the Patriots is going to be addition by addition. So it's going to work out for everybody. Devontae Smith is going to be the wide receiver one. Look for him to take a step forward as long as he stays healthy. I'm hearing great. I don't even know if I want to say this right now. He might be my biggest sleeper, David.
Dontavian Wicks.
I love Dontavian Wicks. It looks like he's not AJ Brown, but he is stepping into that role, and he's going to be having a major part of this offense. And you can find him really late right now, man. I've been stashing him everywhere, late rounds in drafts. So I'm really excited about him. Yeah, Dallas Goedert is going to be the guy. Eli Stowers is dookie, David. He's so bad. I tried telling you. I'm like 4 for 4.
You said it.
4 for 4 right now on these different rookies from Jalen Lane, Barry Brown. I said Eli Stowers he was my tight end 22, guys. I tried to tell you. He did not have the body that would be able to sustain blocks in the NFL, and he's not catching the ball right now, so that's a double negative. So,
one thing that we were hanging our hats on for him.
They're saying he might be a healthy scratch, dude. That's crazy. So,
that is insane.
I'm not a doctor, but you should probably listen to me. I don't know.
I'm not a doctor, but he has the yips.
I don't even think he had anything to get the yips. I don't think he's very good. So, yeah, I don't know. This team should be good. I hate the Eagles. I hate them. So I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Who do you hate more, the Eagles or the Cowboys?
The Eagles.
Oh, interesting. I hate the Cowboys more.
Well, I also hate Eagles fans more. Cowboys fans are also Yankees fans and Lakers fans.
49ers fans. And
who cares?
Yeah, that's fair. Alrighty. Well, yeah, I agree with you. I'm curious to see what Mekhi Lemon's going to even look like. We haven't even seen him.
I'm hearing not very good things, man. I'm hearing he's
Crazy.
Not integrating so far. So
almost like I said he was a head case going into the draft, and well,
we all knew he was a head case, but NFL receivers mostly, for the most part, are head cases. So
yeah. Alrighty, well, let's jump into the Washington Commanders then and wrap up this division. Your boy Jaden Daniels looks like he's finally healthy.
Let's go.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Number 5. He's got some good pass catchers around him now. We got Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin's still there. David Blau is a new first-year coordinator, so we'll see what goes on there with that. But overall, they need to fix their defense if they want to be competitive. And for fantasy football purposes, I think they really need to fix their defense so that way not everything is just thrusted upon Jaden Daniels' shoulders. So, yeah, what else are you hearing? What's the running back room looking like? Is there a tight end that's emerging in that offense? Give me some more depth and insights here.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Daniels, he's on my Pookie list. I love this guy. Hopefully the biggest question for him is going to be the offensive line. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, the interior is banged up. No Laramie Tuttle. I mean, the run game is going to suffer because of this. And, I mean, I think Jaden Daniels will suffer because of this as well. Pass protection has held up better than expected so far, but the line needs some stability before we can trust this offense fully. I love the versatility of Jaden Daniels. He looks like a guy who finally has the keys to the offense that is built around him. I hate this fly.
I keep seeing it.
Oh my gosh. He's been calm. He's been decisive. Daniels has, and he's throwing with a lot of anticipation, which is nice. He's not reacting. The chemistry between him and Stephon Diggs is already obvious. I'm hearing. Diggs it gives him a true receiver kind of guy, like, I don't give a crap if you cover it, I'm just going to throw it your way anyway option, and I don't think he really had that. Terry McLaurin has had his ups and downs. He had a great year 2 years ago. Last year he was riddled with the quadricep injury, so we'll see what happens with him. The running back room, I think, is interesting, a little sneaky. Rachaad White is steady. He's a reliable option. He's decent in space, but also not very good. But I think he fits Jaden Daniels' style, and I think that's
interesting.
JCM, he's more of the physical change of pace guy who keeps popping in camp here and there. But it's gonna be a 1-2 punch until we can figure out who earns Jaden Daniels trust more. I don't know. The issue, I think, still is that with the offensive line, it's going to be rough. The interior run game is going to be very, very inconsistent this year. Outside runs, I am hearing, are looking a little better, but until the line stabilizes, you have to expect some volatility there. So I don't know. I would say right now, Rachaad White is probably the fantasy play, but JCM is the deep stash, I would say. I don't know. Not very confident on JCM, especially after his yards per carry last year, which is like below 3 yards per carry, which was really bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I'm higher on JCM.
I know
think
you
that
are. Yeah.
he's emerged, and from all the reports I've read, seems to be the running back one on the depth chart right now. So I'm
Yeah, it
excited
just
to see what
depends.
happens.
I'm expecting the style. I mean,
Sure.
catching the ball in the backfield is what Rashard White does, and to have that little dump off outlet security blanket for Jaden Daniels with a bad offensive line is going to be something to look towards, especially in PPR formats. So
Yeah, and I think from what I've read, they're trying to incorporate JCM more in the passing game. So
that'd be nice.
if that happens, I think it should be good for his fantasy value.
Yeah, in terms of tight end, I really like Chiga Okwakoro. I can't say his last name.
Oh, yeah,
I
Chiga
I was high on him last year, but I was wrong. I think I was just a year too early. He's very, very, very explosive. He looks like a big slot receiver out there.
Yeah.
Smooth route, strong hands, and I think he's going to be a great fit in Jaden Dale's offense. I think he's finally on a team that's going to utilize him a lot. I have decent expectations for him. So
Yeah, I agree. He should be a good sleeper candidate for tight ends. So. All right, let's jump in then and wrap this up with the NFC West. The NFC West, that would be your Arizona Cardinals, Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, and the Super Bowl winners, Seattle Seahawks. So let's start with the Seattle Seahawks, actually. We had a fan that made a comment and specifically talked about them. How do we feel about Jordarian Price? Sounds like they are all in on him. Thank you for the comment at Gulliam. We appreciate it. If you have any other comments, please toss them on in.
yes, please.
But yeah, let's talk about it. Jordarian Price, how are you feeling about him? What has been the rumors around training camp? Because I also agree, everything that I've heard sounds like put him in bubble wrap, don't let him come out until week 1 of the season. He's our guy. So what are you hearing about him?
Yeah, I'm hearing good things. I mean, it seems like he's probably going to be the guy. He was a first round pick to my surprise, honestly. He's barely been on the field. He's had a little bit of soreness in his lower body, but he allegedly he's the guy. I don't know. For fantasy, I'm a little nervous to be honest.
Yeah.
Just because for a running back yes, running the ball is important for a running back. There's so much more than that, though. Especially in fantasy, you have to be able to catch the ball in the backfield if you're going to be a considered a good to great running back for fantasy. And that scares me because he is not one to catch the ball in the backfield. Or at least he was playing behind Jeremiah Love, so that's a little different because that guy is an animal when catching out of the backfield. But he only had 15 catches in college, and that concerns me.
Yeah. The sample size just isn't there.
Yeah,
So
they're saying the upside is there. I mean, he's a first round pick, is exactly what you want in a running back for fantasy. Everything else stacks up, but I'm a little nervous about just catching the ball in the backfield. Hopefully, they can utilize him a little more. But his history is telling me he's not one to catch the ball in the backfield, which you have to consider when you are drafting a running back. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm hopeful on him. But let's talk about the rest of this team then. They lost their offensive coordinator in Clint Kubiak. They lost the Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker, which is why they probably drafted Jordarian Price. Zach Charbonnet is coming back from the ACL injury. And so the Super Bowl winners, I think, is going to have to rely on Sam Darnold to start the season. If he doesn't go very well to start the season, I don't think the Seahawks are going to go very well to start the season. So Sam Darnold, can he elevate his game a little bit more than even what he did last year? Can he elevate the receivers around him? Obviously, you have Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's one of the best in the NFL. I'm a big fan of Rashid Shaheed right now. Drafted him a lot in some of my drafts, but can he elevate this wide receiver room? And we're hearing a lot of good things out of rookie tight end, or I guess second-year tight end, Elijah Arroyo. Had a big play last week in the preseason. So can he elevate some of these players? That's, I think, the biggest question mark going into the season.
Yeah. So I'm hearing Darnold is having a great preseason so far. I mean, I'm hearing he's operating like the guy is fully settled into a system. Like in the offense around him is humming. I don't know. I think that I don't necessarily think Darnold's going to have a step down this year, and that's interesting because I don't think he's necessarily a super great quarterback. I think he just is great at working with the pieces around him. But the pieces around him are really good. I mean, you have the wide receiver one of last year, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's the reigning offensive player of the year, and he's winning every single type of route out there. He's a beast. Yep. Like you said, Rashid Shaheed is a vertical lightning bolt and is very good. And then they have the old man reliable chain mover in Cooper Kupp, who is not necessarily a slouch. I mean, yeah, they lost a guy in Jake Bobo. That's going to hurt them a little bit, I think, probably more than what people realize. He liked to set the tone. He liked to go out there and block like a tight end and played, that with a, kind of a do the dirty work type of attitude. They're going to miss that, But Torrey Horton, who was supposed to be the next man up, he hasn't really been able to stay on the field, but I still have expectations that he could possibly be that next man up. There's an interesting sleeper. His name is Montessori Foster Jr. He's a wide receiver. Have you heard of him?
I literally have not heard of him.
Okay, he's a name I keep circling. I'm hearing a lot of things. He's making plays every single day, but he's way down in the depth chart, like wide receiver 6. So I'm talking sleeper. He might not make.
Talking dynasty sleeper.
Yes, but if Jake Bobo is the potential wide receiver 3, then anybody could be the potential wide receiver 3, and that's where I'm getting at here. So just at least watch him. I don't think Jake Bobo was very good as a receiver. He was a good blocker. He liked to do dirty stuff, but I don't know. So yeah, his name is Montessori.
Interesting.
Team, check him out. Okay. AJ Barner, I really like AJ Barner as the starting tight end. Yeah, they still have around a Gadsden, but Barner.
They don't have Gadsden.
Or not God. My gosh.
Elijah Arroyo.
I can't. Why do I always mix them up?
I don't know.
I always
same division, just different teams.
Yeah, Gadsden obviously with the Chargers, but I think that Barner is probably going to be still the tight end 1. He's very, very reliable. He's not necessarily going to be their main featured weapon, but he's trustworthy. He's a great outlet for Darnold, and I think that he's at least very competent, and I think that's what they need, especially for Sam Darnold. So.
Interesting. Yeah, I personally like Arroyo more than AJ Barner.
It'd be nice to get them both out there for sure. So.
Oh yeah, I think that they will eventually, but I do think Arroyo is definitely showing a lot of improvements and developments, and so I'm excited. As a dynasty owner of him, I'm excited to see what happens.
You're very biased with your dynasty players.
Maybe.
Goodness.
I just want my guys to do well, So.
I hear you.
All right, well, let's jump in then to the next team, the Los Angeles Rams. Pretty much like going all in, chips all in on the center of the table. They traded for Myles Garrett. They also got Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, Aaron Donald, quote unquote, eyebrow raise. I don't know, probably. But yeah, they're just trying to win right now. That's pretty much what this whole offseason and preseason is about. They're not even really playing their guys. Matt Stafford's not going to play at all this preseason. Myles Garrett's not going to play at all this preseason. They just need to get to week 1, and then they will hit the ground running. Yeah, Matt Stafford, is this going to be his last year? I feel like it's a big storyline to watch. And then what does Ty Simpson look like? He looked pretty good so far in the preseason. Can he really develop and grow and become the quarterback of the future for this team? I don't know. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this team is ready to roll, man. Stafford is he's not really practicing a ton, which is interesting, but they're saying it's just, just keep him upright and sustainable.
Bubble wrap. Put him in bubble wrap.
Protect him at all costs type of vibe. So, but when he does out there and takes reps, I mean, the ball's coming out on time and with veteran precision. Him and Devontae Adams are looking really, really good together. Obviously, they have Puka Nacua, who was the wide receiver 1 for a very long time last year, ended up being wide receiver 2. That dude's a head case, biting people and doing crazy stuff. Apparently ran headfirst through a glass window at the owner of Fanatics' house during a party, which is insane.
Did you say CTE?
I mean, I don't. I mean, he got CUT. He got cut from that. So from that glass, I don't. That was stupid. Nonetheless, I'm an idiot. They're ready to roll, man. Devontae Adams, who I thought maybe could take a step back this year. I don't think so, dude. He's looking really good, especially in the red zone. He's a veteran, reliable target who's going to get his own. He's going to be very good this year. Kyron Williams looks like the guy who spent the offseason sharpening the parts of his game that actually matter too. I'm hearing, his pad levels is better. His burst is he looks faster. His balance through contact. I think he's going to be the obvious heartbeat of this backfield. And they're gonna. I think they're going to be very good. I don't know. Yeah. C.J. Daniels is probably my sleeper to look for. He's been popping up with separation and strong hands as well. So
receiver. I like that sleeper. He was one of my sleepers that I had in the draft going into it. So, I think really this whole thing's just going to center around, can they win the Super Bowl? And if they do, great. I'm happy for Myles Garrett. Happy for Matt Stafford. Aaron Donald will probably come out and play in that game too. So. Overall, I expect good things here. I think that they also just traded for Tutu Atwell, if I remember correctly. And gave a running back over to what team was that? The Dolphins, I think it was.
What was that?
You can verify. I think Tutu Atwell was with the Dolphins.
Oh yeah, it was Jarquez Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, the running back. Yeah, that's right.
Out of Auburn 2 years ago.
I think that's a good piece that they wanted to get back in their offense. He's got speed and probably a good returner, so. I like it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think there's a lot to like here in this offense for fantasy football. Can Puka Nacua stay out of trouble and keep his head on straight? Hopefully, because he'll win you some fantasy football leagues if he does. So,
yeah.
All right, let's jump into the Arizona Cardinals. Mike LaFleur. I get them mixed up. This is his first camp as a head coach here. Jacoby Brissett. Will he become the quarterback one for the whole season? I think he's going to start, but will somebody like Gardner Minshew or Carson Beck beat him out and take over at some point during the season? And then I think the big question mark here is just, can Jeremiah Love stay healthy all season, and can he really live up to the hype that was the number 3 overall pick for the Cardinals? So what else are you hearing from this team that I think is kind of just looking for some sort of identity?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions with this team. I mean, the questions with the quarterback, the running back, the receivers. The only question they don't have is that tight end, and that's probably the most important. Trey McBride is an absolute monster. He's going to be the focal point of this offense. In this passing game, when Brissett needs a quick answer, he's a top 5 fantasy tight end. I think he's going to be tight end 1 this year. I called my shot, and I think he's only getting better. I don't know. Jacoby, I like Jacoby. I really
great dude. Just a great dude.
Time out. He was a top 5 quarterback last year when he finally got his opportunity, and he sustained that all the way through the rest of the season. That was a huge part to Michael Wilson and Trey McBride. Obviously, Trey McBride had an incredible season last year, but I don't think Jacoby is getting enough credit. I think he's what this offense needs right now. He's calm, he's steady, and he's willing to take what's there. He's not necessarily, I think, a fantasy QB1, but he's the type of quarterback who keeps an offense functional and supports the fantasy value around him. Unless your name is Marvin Harrison Jr., because what the hell? I don't know. I love him. He's everything you want in a wide receiver 1. He runs pursuit routes. He had. What did I say?
Precise.
I can't read today. Sorry. He's got elite body control. And apparently he's got decent chemistry with Jacoby Brissett, but I don't know.
I think this is the year he gets it together.
He has to.
I'm a believer.
I am too, and I'm very biased, of course. I really like. I'm a Buckeyes fan at heart. I mean, the Buckeyes made me fall in love with football. So. I have high hopes for him. I really hope that he can continue. He should be the wide receiver 1. A lot of people are saying, is Michael Wilson going to be that guy? I think no. I think he's more of a compliment to him. Yeah. He's got strong hands. He's got he's reliable on intermediate routes, and I think he's a sneaky wide receiver too. But it's time for Marvin Harrison Jr. to take over this offense and finally, put his name on the map and stop looking like a bust, man. I don't know. The offensive line is going to be a big issue. Not issue, but question. I mean, it's great that Paris Johnson Jr. is back. That's going to stabilize a ton. But the interior line is still developing. But the run game I think is going to look cleaner, and the protection is improving. I really like Jeremiah Love. I think he's generational. He just has to stay healthy. He's got quick feet. He's incredibly explosive. One of the best pass catchers I've seen coming out of college football. The most dynamic back on this roster, and he should, if he's healthy, should be a very good fantasy option this year.
Agreed. but I still like Tyler Algier to start.
Dude, for years now, you've been screaming for this RB2 on his team, and he's just going to sit there as RB2.
It just sucks. He's waited so long for this opportunity. All right. Well, let's jump into this last team then, the San Francisco 49ers. They got Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, George Kittle on the way back from all the injuries. They kept them all around, which is nice. They brought back Deebo Samuel. They even added Mike Evans and Christian Kirk, who I think is actually a good wide receiver that people are kind of not giving enough credit and attention to. So, what is going on in this training camp right now? Who's staying healthy? Who's not? I feel like there's been so much news of injuries at this training camp. Give me a breakdown.
My question right now is CMC. He had a generational year last year. He's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, he had so many rushing yards, and I think he was a top 10 receiver as a running back. He was insane. But right now he's in bubble wrap mode. We would talk about this a lot, but they're not pushing him, and I don't think they should. We know what he is. I think the real intrigue is probably that backup running back role, because that's probably the most important backup running back role in all of football. Because CMC has shown that he can be very, very good all year, or he could randomly get hurt and we don't know. So the questions of him not starting or playing right now and not playing a lot are making people a little nervous. Kalen Black has flashed a lot of juice every time he's been healthy. Jordan James has fresh legs and is finally returning from injury. So who will be that backup, we don't know. But hopefully CMC is okay. And I just drafted him in the first round in one of my leagues. So hopefully he continues what he did last year. Brock Purdy has been fantastic this year. This is the sharpest that he's looked, I'm hearing. The ball placement, the anticipation, the confidence, the attack downfield, even with a rotating cast of receivers, is pretty remarkable. The receiver group held together with tape right now. Mike Evans, and that's been, I feel like the last 3 years has been like that.
It's been an ongoing recurring theme here.
I think Mike Evans is the exact receiver that they need in this offense, but he's been in and out, and hopefully he just can get healthy and they can get this guy going, because I think he could do some historic things with this team. Brock Purdy and this offense were humming last year, and I don't understand how, because everyone was out. So now they have a very good receiver, a guy who until last year had 1,000 yards every single year in his career. Christian Kirk, a great piece to add, but he hasn't been able to stack a ton of practices because of the injury. Dejon Stribling has been probably the talk of camp. He's been flashing, but also he was wearing a no contact jersey every other day out there. So I don't know what's going on there. I think he's probably going to be the wide receiver 2 coming out of camp. He's had a strong camp. He looks really good. I'm hearing a lot of good things. But we'll see. George Kittle is inching back, but they're obviously being cautious, and they should be with him. But he's going to be George Kittle this year. I'm not worried about him at all. So, yeah.
Yeah. If they can stay healthy, this is a good team. So I would love to see them stay healthy. I would love to see Brock Purdy continue to elevate his game and just continue to be competitive. So we'll see what happens. I'm hopeful for this team. I think they could do pretty well. But yeah. We'll see what happens. So who do you think will win this division for the NFC West?
Let's see. Not the Cardinals. I mean, it's going to be the Rams.
It has to be the Rams, yeah. If it's not, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This was part 2 of our training camp stories, where we are just talking about everything that's going on in training camp. If you are really enjoying everything that we're talking about and breaking down all these training camp stories, breaking down all these fantasy perspectives and insights, go ahead and please give us a follow, turn on notifications, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We're just trying to help you elevate your game as we go into the fantasy football season this year. So please give us a follow, turn on automatic downloads for our podcast. We are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Spotify, we are everywhere that you get your podcasts. So please go ahead, leave us a review, turn on 3 times speed and listen to us if you want to. That's fine too. It's an easy way to get
just mute your phone, and let it go for 10
It
minutes.
helps us get our names out there. So
Appreciate
thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. If you commented during this live stream, please continue to do so. We want to engage with you guys that way.
Yep.
So please continue to ask questions, leave your takes if you want to. We will definitely talk about them all with you. But yeah, I think this was a good wrap to the preseason for us. It should be a fun season. I'm excited for it. Moss, what are you thinking?
Yeah, man. Real quick, I just want to shout out our sponsor, Mossor Moments Photography, the wedding photography business that my wife Hallie and I run together here in Cleveland. For the past 10 years, we photographed more than 100 weddings side by side, just the two of us working as a true team, capturing real moments, the emotion, the personality, the little things, that couples remember years later. No stiff posing, no forced smiles, just honest, natural images that feel like you. Whether it's a backyard ceremony or a destination wedding, we bring the same care, the same consistency, and the same passion every single time. If you want to see our work or learn more, head over to MossorMomentsPhotography.com. That's MOSSOR momentsphotography.com. It's right there on your screen. All right, Dave, that's going to wrap it up for tonight's deep dive on the NFC. I don't know. It's exciting to have training camp done. We're pushing towards. The Browns are playing right now. Actually,
They are.
Preseason game. We got to get over and watch that.
Game.
Yeah. So we're inching towards the beginning of the season, and that brings me to something real quick. Next week is going to be a big one for the show, guys, because for the first time ever, we are launching the Commissioner's Couch Fantasy Football Listener League.
Woo!
Yes, dude. It is our official our official redraft league for the show. This is your chance to compete against David and I. Talk your talk, make your picks, and try to get your name etched into my giant trophy. Hold on one second.
Oh, this is a great trophy.
I gotta fix it, but this is the trophy.
There it is.
Tall.
As tall as you.
I was working on it earlier and unscrewed something. But yeah, that thing is 6 feet tall. We'll have a plaque on it, and if you beat us, your name is going to be on that forever. So that's really, really cool. It's going to be a 12-team full PPR redraft league. We've got 6 spots open for listeners who love fantasy football, stay committed, and bring good vibes to the league. If you want in this league, keep your eyes on Twitter. We will be promoting the entry details through at Dynasty CLE, at David Kahoun 24, and at the Commish Couch. Not everyone will get in. Spots are limited, but a handful of listeners will be randomly selected to join us and battle for glory in the Commissioner Couch Redraft League. Really excited about this, so definitely check out Twitter. And we're looking, like I said, next Thursday at 7:30 to start drafting. So it's gonna happen here real soon. So get ready. Next week we're gonna kick off something brand new for the show, and I'm telling you, I cannot wait to see who ends up on the couch with us for the 2026 season. For David Kahoun, you can follow him at David Kahoun 24. I'm Ryan Mossor. You can follow me at Dynasty CLE. This has been episode 33 of the Commissioner's Couch Fantasy Football Podcast, and we will see you next week for our redraft Commissioner's Couch Listener League. Very excited.
Let's go.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And as always, we'll see you back on the couch next week. David?
Good luck.
Good luck.